you on 720 AM. I'm your host, Paul Ira, and in studio we have Chef Mayra, who's a vegan chef. We had a quite robust conversation during the break, which we'll not go back to that just yet. So, Chef Mayra, tell us, how did you get started cooking? What interested you in cooking, feeding people, or playing in the kitchen, or whatever it is you do?
The interest was that I like to create. And when I'm creating, I like to see your face when you eat it. It feels so good that I know that you're pleased, it tastes good, it looks beautiful, and I love it.
That's the same approach I use when I mix a martini.
There you go. You feel good.
Yeah.
I like bartenders
Before
are chef too.
So tell us how you're, which this is really ties into where we're headed with all this. Tell us about your nutritional side of your cooking. I know that's really a big deal, and that's really what we're doing here is nutritional fuel for our bodies and detoxing and that kind of thing. And we're going to get to that specifically later. But you started cooking when you were very young, or?
Yeah, I think so. I would be in the kitchen trying to bake something or cook something. And because the family was like, oh my God, look how cute, look how she's cooking, oh, how cute. You know, so of course I wanted to make more. But I also felt good. I always ask whoever was in the kitchen to show me something. And that's the thing with technique. Your mama or your auntie or your somebody in that kitchen taught you how to do a specific method, and you never question it, you just keep doing it the same thing. Later on, I questioned it, why I'm doing that.
So where'd you grow up?
In Mexico City.
And so your first cooking experiences, I would assume, was some Mexican fare?
Not really, because I'm half Cuban and half Lebanese, born in Mexico.
Half Cuban, half Lebanese.
If you have a Cuban mom, the house is Cuban.
That's my girlfriend says she's Mexican too, but she's half Italian and a quarter Japanese.
Yeah. So there you go.
Whatever.
I mean, I was born in Mexico. It makes me a Mexican, not by roots, but by citizenship or by whatever, by birth.
So did you bring in some of that Lebanese style cooking too? Because I know they have a lot of vegetable cooking.
Because it's a fusion. It has a lot of spices. So the way I put together the chemistry of the food is very different from just any chef, I think. Because to me, it's all about the frequencies of the food. It's not just how this matches this and this pairs with this. I know that those plants and I know those herbs and the essential oils, whatever I'm using to cook, is going to raise the vibration of that food. It's going to raise the RMPs of the food.
Talk to us some more about that. What do you mean the frequency?
The frequencies, everything has frequencies, as you know.
You're talking about the actual vibration frequency, not the how many times it comes around.
Yes. No,
like
the frequency.
Four kernels of corn as opposed to 100. To me that would be the frequency of the corn.
No,
as opposed
I'm talking about the frequency
the
of
radio
the food.
waves.
Right, the frequency, the RMPs. So let's say essential oils usually are already starting at 52 RMP. Okay. And then
What's
of
RMP?
course megahertz.
Oh, okay.
And so
revolutions per minute.
Seriously.
Revolutions per minute.
I mean RPM.
RPM. I'm sorry, it's me. My bad. The English thing sometimes.
I'll keep your acronyms straight.
Thank you. Some what is it? Malfunction English thingy. Okay. So when you raise the vibration of the food, is also you want to match the vibration of the organ vibration. So when you eating fresh, non-GMO, I know, I heard, some non-GMO, clean, local as possible, not packaged, not processed, your whole body is in a different vibration. So when you're receiving food in the same vibration, that's when the healing works. So sometimes it's not about nutrition only, it's also your state of mind, how you're cooking it, what you're thinking, if you're staying in the moment when you're eating. What is it that you're doing also to stay in the moment and be a mindful eater, a mindful consumer? You see what I mean? So nutrition is super good and blah, 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 but it's also your own journey, your own, how your DNA is receiving the information. So I think it's not a religion, it's just being more in tune with your own energy.
Well, you would be connected with the universe, though.
100%.
So it may not be spiritual or religious, but it is connected through that. I
100%.
get that. That's interesting. I've never
Because
heard
we
of.
water, we're water.
Last week we talked about clean burning fuel, and now we're talking about fuel that connects with you. That's interesting.
That is so important that when you're growing your food and you get into those systems and stop depending on distribution and hoop houses, and distribution houses with, all the politics of food. If you're starting just to grow your own food, then you are connecting with Mother Earth. You are connecting with that whole source. And then you're passing the information to your children. So I honor all the master gardeners. I honor any other identity in Las Vegas right now that is they're going into schools and teaching children how to grow food. It's not money. Some of them, they don't even make that much money, but the fact that they're passing that information, if children, they don't know how to grow food right now, we are going to be hooked, and whatever the distribution of food, we are going to be tied in on their system. Like, let me give you an idea. Right now, the avocados, because the hurricane, the avocados all of a sudden went from like 17 or 18, okay, I think $18 or $19 a case of 38, 40 avocados. They jumped to 35 for 10.
Wow, doubled.
I was going to a restaurant that quit.
Are you kidding me?
They quit giving guacamole because the avocado prices.
Because the distribution. But you know what happened? Those houses, whoever was the highest bidder was selling the avocados. So you know what? That system, to me, I'm not down. You're not going to control what I'm going to eat because it's good for you. So if I can grow my own food, you can, kids,
Right.
you know what?
Well, we had, and we'll go back to that.
Yeah.
We had Green Our Planet on the radio show here a while back, and we do have, this weekend was the Grow Your Own Festival
Right.
over at the
Vegas Roots.
Las Vegas, and we had a festival there. It was a great time, and the Grow Your Own organization has built over 110 gardens in schools, and so I think this is huge. And we talk about organic. Organic means you don't put pesticides and herbicides, and most people that are growing their own food at home are not doing that. I mean, I started when I was able to walk. I was out there in the garden working. We never used it. First off, we couldn't afford it. So you plant it. If there's bugs, you kill them. If there's weeds, you pull them. Have a good day. Then later you pull up the food and eat it. So I've been eating organic food since I was a kid. Didn't know it. The Grow Your Own organization has all these gardens going into schools. And what they've done is they've torn up turf, which uses a load of water.
Yeah.
And put in raised bed gardens and fruit trees. So each class has their own garden, each class has their own fruit tree. They learn to grow their own food, plant their own food, agriculture. They learn to build by building these gardens. They learn to raise the crop. They learn to harvest the crop. They learn to cook the crop. They learn to take the crop to market. So they learn about commerce, nutrition, everything. And in the end, they're saving money by all the water they're saving.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to try and get them, put them in programs that I do, and pay for these gardens. The only thing that's slowing them down is the money. So it's like you're making the money right there in the water. So you take the water savings and use that to buy the gardens. Every school in the United States should have their own garden.
And there's a lot of states already implemented that system. It's just I want Vegas to have more opportunities. Now, create a change.
And the point I was trying to make here is, by getting all these children to learn to garden, you get away from this distribution system a little bit, at least, by being able to go out in their garden. When my garden's going well, I don't have to go to the store. I go out in the garden, I pick stuff, take it inside, cook it.
And you eat in season. You don't have to eat a freaking avocado that comes from Chile that got pulled, who knows. So it takes 9 months to grow an avocado. So you're going to pull it before 9 months, go around the globe, gas the thing, and then they put the avocado like this little.
What happens when you learn to grow organically? It spoils you for eating, because when I went from 19 years at home in Iowa, where we can grow anything, and I went into the Marines and I started eating the chow hall, and I was like, "What is this?" I said, "It's a tomato." It's like, it's red, but this is not what a tomato tastes like.
You don't even taste like
and
that.
corn, I quit eating corn when I left, because
Yeah.
It doesn't taste anything like what we were growing.
The GMO project.
So the taste of homegrown organic food is how it's supposed to taste.
Yes.
And if nothing else, that's
Yes.
the biggest benefit. Hey, and we'll be right back to Shades of Green on KDWN. I'm your host, Paul Ira.
Good.